Still better than mild steel pipe.
Oh, it says we're live.
Yeah.
All right.
Scott's gone, though.
And Scott just left.
Here, add myself to the stage. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Nice. Oh, there we go.
There
Okay,
you
so
go.
we got comments. Okay. Apologies to all, if anybody's actually there. Apologies to all for the shit show, which has induced due to inclement weather conditions and new computers, new software, new credit cards. We're finally here. We'll wait until we see. Oh, JT.
There you go.
He's sitting there waiting with this comment queued up. You see the first comment? Yeah. Oh, now my phone's chirping in the background. Okay, there we go. Okay, I fixed it. Okay, how do we sound, JT? Do we sound good? Do we sound professional? I'm on the AirPods here. This is a first for me. Am I coming through okay? I'll have to wait for his response. But yeah, so Jeff is amidst a tornado warning and his power just got knocked out. Oh, Jose. Okay, now we got two. So this is a last minute Hail Mary, switched it over to my channel. So we'll see who we get in here, and we'll just kind of roll with it. You sound amazing.
Amazing.
Thanks, Braden. You're amazing too. Wow. Yeah, it must be the earbuds. They bring out the baritone in my voice. Oh, John Farr is here. What's going on,
John
buddy? How
Farr.
you doing?
Just to let you know, we're wearing it. We got the Gordy's hat on.
Oh yeah, I got mine upstairs too. Actually, John, did you see the video on the new 67 meter Putzmeister from the show in Bama last week? Did you see that video? If not, so I'm sure you did. Is it not the most amazing new piece of concreting equipment in recent years? I'm stoked on it. John's coworker, Greg had chimed in there, but I think he's pretty hyped about it too. So
Greg Huey.
Caleb is doing some Blair Witch shit.
Yeah, I was out in the living room, and then my kid showed up, and she's like, "I want to change her diaper," so she's probably gonna cry. So I had to move over here, and now I'm trying to make this room stream acceptable.
What? So we're just kind of rolling with this. What do you guys want to talk about? I didn't come in with a plan. I'm 15 minutes late being out for dinner. I got stuck in a traffic jam on a bridge. So yeah, we'll just roll with this. This is totally off the cuff. If you guys have any stories you want to tell, we haven't actually done a live stream for a while, so we actually haven't really caught up amongst the three of us here. So yeah, whoever wants to take it away, tell me your life story. John says they're gonna have the first 67. There was I think they sold or had commitments for like a dozen of them on the very first day of that show by the end of the day. So John's gonna have the first one in North America. If that's the case, can I come out and film a video? Am I allowed to come film a video of it? Because we'll never get one on the roads up here. That's problem number two. Problem number one is we have no money. But even if we did, I don't think it'll ever be legal for our roads, unfortunately. But I would love to come out and see that, John. If you can make that happen, I would be forever grateful. So, oh, Kevin says he's late. You're late, Kevin. You missed so much. How dare you? If you only knew what we've gone through to get this to this point already. So, yeah. So, Matt, what's happening? Caleb, what's happening? Let's go.
Still busy moving machines. Jeff just did another one last week or this week, I guess. Delivered one. So.
And is this all stuff, deliveries, commitments from World of Concrete? Most of it?
After. Yeah, the one that he just did actually is only like 4 hours from him. Yeah, and he just called out of the blue and asked if he could get get a machine, and I think he ended up waiting like a week and a half, something like that.
What did you think of the vendor? What's your perspective, Matt, on the World of Concrete? I mean, I know it's not inexpensive to be there, to have a presence. Do you think it was worth it? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's worth it. We paid for our spot next year already.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you think because you're a newer product to market that it makes your case perhaps more unique than a company that's been around for 25 or 30 years, or what
Yeah,
are your thoughts on that?
exposure. It's for us since we're new, the exposure. We're trying to grasp it's such a different market than what everybody else is after, right? I mean, it truly is. I mean, the commercial pumpers, like most of the guys on live chat here, they're commercial pumpers, so they're not, would they ever entertain our product? Probably not the Mud Demon, but we're not just in it for the Mud Demon as well. We're trying to solve problems for guys that are, different kind of hooks, the line cradles, there's different things that we're working on to help the end user just to make it easier.
Well, the screed sled, which
Screed
we
sled.
took possession of one a few weeks ago, and have used it on 3 pours now,
Yeah.
and the guys are loving that. So you guys are pretty well diverse in your product line.
We made
Your booth was busy the whole show. It was you guys were high traffic.
Yeah, I mean we had a small booth and we had two sales guys and myself there, and Jenny in the back, and a fourth guy off and on as he bounced between different vendors. But there wasn't a time where all three of us, as soon as we got done talking to somebody, we'd go right to the next person waiting, up until the last half of the last day. Then it slowed down. Everybody's hungover by then.
Yeah, the second half of the last day, everybody it always peters off, and most of us, I think, that got sick and or caught pneumonia while we were down there. By the second half of the last day, we were done. So I think that plays into it too.
Yeah.
Kevin's asking, what does it take to have a machine showcased at World of Concrete? Obviously, buy a new one, but is it luck? In our case, it was somewhat luck. We were supposed to have our machine June of this year, and then a spot opened up. I'm not sure if maybe there was a cancellation or whatever it was, and then we were asked if we would be okay taking it in January. Yes, earlier is better for sure. And if so, the stipulation was, I guess it was slated to be at the show. JT rather, sorry, could chime in probably with a little more info on this, but I think what happens is they have a plan for the show. They know which 4 or 5 machines they want to have in the show, and then it just comes down to who has commitments to purchase those machines and how the timeline works out. And I'm sure the bigger clientele probably would have some leverage in that regard, I would think. But like I said, yeah.
For the booth space themselves, I know from like Schwing's side of it, I mean, they're working on that booth layout months in advance, so they know what size machines they want to put in there and where they need to go, because they need to have all their electrical layout, all that stuff done months in advance before the show. So then it comes down to what machines that they're building down the pipe that fit that size, right? So if they put a loop belt or a tail belt in the puts booth, what other machines they want to display at the same time,
Right. So it's a lot of this that has to come together. JT just commented, they're already slotting machines for 2026. So yeah, I would have loved to have had another machine in the show, but with the economic uncertainty right now, I don't know that that's a leap of faith that we're gonna make. Oh, Bill's here. Hey, what's going on, Bill? Haven't seen you for a few weeks. Yeah, good to see Bill. This is a good question. 2SPE Crete. I don't know if that's. Is there a different way to pronounce that? Two speed. Is it like short for something?
Spec Crete.
2-spec Crete. 2-spec Crete. Okay. Knowing already the EU is ahead or progressive with certain red tape, do you feel that we can adapt to EU ways now without obligation from USA rules North America? I thought that the EU had more red tape. Like, I know their machines have to have the European version of Full Flex ISA, which is more it has more electronic nannies than the American version. It actually can't be switched off. So by law, they have to have that there. So I think that they actually have more red tape. Can we adapt to their ways with some of the equipment? There's some pretty neat stuff over there. I think it'd be cool if we could. Um, but from what I observed in Bauma there last week, it's just two very different markets. Like I don't know. I think we're in a lot of ways very archaic in North America and closed-minded. I do think some of the stuff they have is excessive by the same token. Um, I think there's a happy medium somewhere. It would be really cool to be able to get some of the options that they have, though, for sure. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but that's kind of the best I could read into it.
I think a lot of both with Putz and Schwing, for example, are both their mother companies are German based, right? So all the innovation, or 90% of the innovation, comes from them, and then when they allow it, then it gets moved to the States or the North American market.
Right.
So
we seem to be behind a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just because that's what they want, or it seems like they don't let the U.S. divisions branch out on their own engineering and R&D stuff.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think JT would have more insight to that on. Anything I could offer would be speculation, but it was an interesting glimpse spending some time in Europe last week for sure. I see Eric is in the comments. If Jeff's power is out, does that mean he might not be coming or might not be here for a while? I wonder.
Yeah.
Eric, do you want to jump in if I send you a link? Does anyone have? I don't know if I have. Oh, I do have Eric's number. I can send you the link if you want to come on. Just let us know in the comments here. But yeah, what's Caleb? What's new with you?
Oh man, we actually got a lot going on over here. The year started off pretty slow, but the pool company I am kind of associated with has sold. And they have sold.
Oh, it did?
They sold their pool division. So they're kind of in a transition phase of, handing it off to somebody else. They sold it to a local landscape company here in town who they've worked with for the past 10 years, hand in hand. People want landscaping and people want pool. They kind of go together. So, but I've also been working with them because they want a new plaster pump. So we're trying to work with them, trying to hook them up with a new plaster pump as well. And I got some big news coming up that I can't really share right now, but some big news. Yep.
Big news. Caleb bought a 67-meter boom pump.
No,
He's tired of dragging hose.
That's what you call big news.
John, you're not getting the first one. Caleb is.
No, I'm not getting a boom pump, but got big news coming up. Hopefully soon. Hopefully within the next month or so, we can actually put a stamp on it.
So with you guys being tied in with a landscaping company now, does that mean more concrete pours for you in terms of like ladder walls and stuff? No?
So the pool company has nothing to do with it anymore. They sold it to the landscape company. It's literally just a transition period of trying to teach them kind of what they know and stuff. But then pretty soon the pool company, as I know it, is going to be combined pool and spa. Pool division is no more, and it's going to be it's called Park Lane Pools. But yes, I will still be, as far as I know, I will still be pumping pools for them as well.
So you're staying relatively busy then with
yes,
work?
Yep. The last couple of weeks have really picked up. It was kind of slow going. This weather has been, got cold and rainy, and then people would do some stuff, but then they wouldn't want to start some stuff. So the big projects haven't really started taking off around here. Oh, probably the last couple weeks or so.
Yeah, for us it warmed up and everybody started, and we got dumped on another 6 inches of snow.
Yep.
An hour from us, they got over a foot. So it's
my gosh.
So now it's just a muddy mess.
Oh yeah, I mean that one week it was like 60, 70 degrees in the middle of March. and then 2 weeks later it's back down to 20 degrees at night and 35 highs, and then the next week you're back up to 40, 50, but it's pissing rain on you, so you can't do anything anyways.
What's the forecast for work like, Caleb? And I guess anybody in the comment section wants to chime in too. In your area, what's the outlook for work? What's the general vibe? I know up here it's really mixed and weird. What is the sentiment out there in general for the next year? What's everybody figuring on? Like, what do you think, Caleb? What overall from what you see, what are the signs pointing towards?
I think it's going to be a pretty good year. I Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. Like I said, it was a slow start, but then this last 2 weeks, it's been like on Tuesday, I don't have anything planned, and then all of a sudden I have 4 jobs the rest of the week, and I got 3 jobs booked for next week. So it's kind of up and down, but I will say I think it's going to be consistent, and more people are actually finding out about me and knowing I'm out there. So we don't do a whole ton of advertising. It's a lot of word of mouth. Throw a Facebook ad out there once in a
Right.
while. So this
It's
year,
all organic.
yep, I think this year's going to be a good year.
I guess your situation is unique too because you're one of the only line pumps in your area, correct?
Correct.
So it's more about you're catching on, and your business I would think is more likely to grow, even possibly if the economy is not, just because it's something that it's new to people that they weren't aware of perhaps previously.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
biggest
just fun. Looking at
thing
the
too
comments here, and it
is
seems to be random.
my biggest thing too is price. Like the price for a boom in my area is just, if you can pump a 70-yard foundation in 1 hour, it's going to cost you $600, and then I can't really compete with that.
Yeah. Well, nor do you want to,
Nor
right?
do I
Why
want
even?
to.
Why
No.
even? Yeah. Why even go there?
But
Right?
then people look at my price and they'll be like, "Oh, you're like $100 more." And it's like, yeah, but I have a 4-hour minimum, so you have to think that you get me for 4 hours. As soon as that boom pump goes from the first hour to the second hour, now he is more expensive. Or like now you get me for 4 hours, especially if you're in town in Sioux Falls, like you get me for 4 hours, one flat, your 4-hour minimum, and people still think that's too expensive. Mud buggies,
Do you have? Are most of your utilities, like your hydro lines, are they run underground there, or do you have a lot of overhead lines in your
a
region?
lot of overhead lines. I mean, you got gas lines and stuff in the ground, but like most power is all overhead.
So that's like with us. There's a lot of jobs here that just can't be boom pumped. So there's always line pump work, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, I mean, a 32-meter boom pump is the best deal in concrete pumping. It's like $10 an hour, $15 an hour more than a line pump, even though the machine costs more than double the purchase price, more than double operating costs. So it's a steal of a deal. They just don't work for a lot of applications, or because we're in the city, there just isn't space for it, right? And line pumps are easy to use here because we have mixes that'll pump through 2-inch hose. So just yeah, line pump. It's very conducive to our market. Um, but yeah, I don't like with our market here, residential high-rise towers, pre-sales have fallen off a cliff. Like nobody's purchasing pre-sales for residential high-rise towers, and they need to get something like 65 to 70% pre-sale before they can get financing to go ahead with the project. So how do you build towers now? So a lot of it is transition to rental buildings, to rental high-rise, or just things aren't going ahead. Fortunately, there's some infrastructure stuff. There's a lack of operators, people willing to do this kind of work in our area. So the ones that are doing it are still, they're still making a living. It's definitely slowed down. But I don't know what it's going to do. I don't. My crystal ball is very, very foggy right now, and it's just becomes one of those times where it's kind of scary to you want to keep your wallet tight, hold on to your pennies tight, and just prepare for the worst kind of thing. So that's sort of where our market's at, and that's my perception of it. I don't know if there's anybody else in the comments here that's from the Lower Mainland, but it'd be interesting to know what they think. I mean, we stay busy because we do a pretty good variety of work, and we do a lot of shitty jobs that others aren't interested in doing because they're a pain in the ass. So we stay kind of busy with that. But if we were doing, subdivision spec homes, and that was the the majority of our work right now, we would be in big trouble, I would say. So that's
Yeah,
my take on it.
in our area, in the Fargo Moorhead area, there's 12 pumps in a population of 150,000 metro area, right? But there's no line pumps, other than ourselves. The closest one is Caleb to the south of us, Bismarck to the west of us. So there's nobody really line pumps.
I think there is a guy in Aberdeen.
Is there?
I think there's a guy in Aberdeen that has a line pump. Yeah, he has. Because I went and shotcreted a pool up there. That was a big pool. I posted with drone footage and all that.
Well, flat rate.
And I talked to the guys up there. And
they've got a city pump.
Yeah, flat rate's up there. Yeah,
flat rate's got a city pump.
I heard they don't like taking that thing out very much. But.
They don't. They'll just break off the back end of a boom and charge them for it when they do all the inside of the full streams. But that's just what they're used to. I mean, there's no, the cost though within the metro, the cost to get a boom pump is super cheap, but then anybody that's rural that now all of a sudden is a 30-minute drive, the price just tripled, for the same yardage.
Right.
So most guys go out of their way not to get a pump because the cost is such a dramatic cost, and our mixes are nice. I mean, there's not, that's not a big deal there. I mean, we've got all kinds of nice river sand material and washed rock. So, but
see, that's one thing I think that's going to make my year better is I'm working with both of the ready mix plants here in town right now, and we are coming up with a big rock mix, a 3/4 inch mix that I can comfortably pump through my 2.5 inch hose. That will be more appealing to customers for sure. Because I know the 1/2 inch mix is $10 more a yard, and then you get to the 3/8 chip, it's like $15 more a yard, and if you're doing 100 yards, that can add up.
So that's why it's funny, like the 1/2 inch mix and the 1 inch mix that I see you guys have been pumping, yourself and Jeff. It's such a blend. Like up here, if you get 3/4 mix, it's predominantly 3/4. If you get 1/2 inch, it's predominantly half. You guys get these mixes. I think Jeff was pumping one there maybe a month ago, and it looked like literally like a handful of 1.5 inch rocks thrown into a wheelbarrow full of what otherwise would be 3/4 and 1/2 inch, and then tons of cream and paste to it. I wonder from an engineering perspective how that actually works out strength wise. Like, do you think they're touting the 1.5 inch stone just as like a feel good factor? Like, oh, it's got 1.5 inch, it's got big rock in it. But when you're surrounding it with all that cream to offset the big rock, we need a mix design person in here. Are you really ahead of the game versus just running a straight 3/4 mix? That's kind of what I'm curious about.
Yeah, because the one 3/4 inch mix I was getting from Ace Ready Mix here in town, I found out it's not really a 3/4 inch mix. They call it their 1 inch mix, but it's a 1 inch minus in that 3% of the rocks that get in there are actually 1 inch. Everything else is going to be smaller than 1 inch. So most of it's 3/4.
Is that smoke and mirrors for the engineers? They're just trying to appease the engineers with that little smattering of large stone. Because if I show one more video or thumbnail that says pumping 1.5 inch rock through a 2.5 inch hose, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, it's not. It looks better than half of our mixes.
Our local batch plants, it doesn't matter if you're using Coast, Aggregate Industries, or Strata. Their 3/4 mix is basically a 1 inch minus material. And most of it, when we do work for Aggregate, we help them with some of their screening decks and stuff like that, rebuilding some of their plants. It's just a lack of screening. I mean, they're not spending the time to actually screen the material out.
Right. So
it's a mixture of materials is all, because the big pumps don't care. Nobody around here typically does line pumps. So when I first started doing demos and using our machine and stuff, we were getting 1 inch, inch and a quarter mixes, and it's like, we asked for a pumpable mix for line pump, and they're like, well, they just do it off the boom anyways, and they're running 4-inch hose. The larger pump company here in town, Bob's, they run 4-inch hose, 10-footers, and that's it. And they don't do it. All the crews do it. The crew, whoever they're going to, has to lay their hose down and pick it back up.
The finishers must hate that.
Oh, they do.
Trying to hand cut joints and whatnot with that big stone, it'll be terrible. I mean, I guess if you don't, or if you haven't ever seen any different and don't know any better, maybe it just is what it is, right?
Right.
Brandon Sims says slow as hell in Seattle. I've noticed that, Brandon. It seems to have been for years. So now I see Brandon's out on the telebelt a lot. I remember being in Seattle like 2 years ago, and there were cranes everywhere. I remember specifically in Bellevue. Maybe it was 3 years ago now. And now there's basically nothing. It's like these cities have just gotten too expensive. So what happens from here, right? I'm very, very curious. I think Vancouver is kind of falling into that same regard. It's so expensive to build here. Developers can't turn a profit. So what happens? It's an interesting transitional time in history, I would say. So
8-inch slump sucks.
Yeah. Oh, with the belt. I want to get down there. I got to get down there and hang out with Brandon one of these days. He and I have communicated back and forth over Facebook groups and whatnot for years, and they do some really cool stuff in Seattle. I'd love to get down there for a day and hang out, spend some more time around a belt, see how they do things down there for sure. Sue Speckcrete says it's, what do you say about Toronto? Not much going on in terms of new holes in the ground. Yeah, it's kind of like Vancouver. There's lots on the go still, but it's midway or later in the construction phase. So what's going to replace it, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's what are you guys, without getting way too political? What are your guys' thoughts on the economy? Like as a producer, Matt, how does the whole tariff thing affect you specifically?
Me, really, it doesn't. Everything we make is built in house. I mean, and we're moving towards doing our own pump kits as well in house, for future. I mean, we try to get away from that, any kind of imports whatsoever. I mean, we see a little bit of increase in steel prices have jumped a little bit, but I think
Right.
it's just because of uncertainty. It's not anything close to like COVID prices or anything like that. But
Right.
the availability of everything is still there. It's not. I mean, I think it's making some manufacturers tighten up their belt buckle a little bit.
Sure.
But I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that are buying product from Canada or Mexico that are
Yeah.
U.S. manufacturers. Like say wire harnesses, for example, right? We do that in house. Other people have it made elsewhere, whether if it's depending on how big they are, of where it goes, right? So
Right.
for us, the manufacturer, we don't see anything. I mean, nothing that's like out of the ordinary.
Your current pump kit that you're using, the 305 Schwing, is that U.S. made or
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, so what about like hydraulic pumps? Like, if it's like a Rexroth pump, do you get dinged on that, or how does that
So
work?
I don't have a hydraulic pump on our machine. All our valves are made
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So, but our spools and so we use Rexroth, we use Sun Hydraulics as well. So we still use, you can say Rexroth now is all basically, there's really only 2 hydraulic manufacturers out there in the world, really, because they're all owned by the same, right? So Rexroth is still readily available, because depending on if you're looking like spools, wobbly, they're made in Nebraska and Oklahoma. There's our actual manifold that we use for our shift manifold and our volume control and agitator is all machined here in Minnesota and assembled in Minnesota and tested here. So I mean, that's stuff that we can contain all that. So we don't see, unless if there's like a huge shortage in aluminum or something like that, I wouldn't see anything like that. Right?
So you guys are positioned better than most probably
Oh,
for all
100%.
of this.
But we're looking
Yes.
at even like our S tubes and stuff, start looking at local companies to start doing some of it. It may cost us more, but working with companies like the Corey Anderson out at Dakota Foundry, you know, he's big into castings and stuff like that. That's what they do, you know. So to start looking for those local businesses that can help us out for, like, because the S tubes are brought in, right? That's about the only thing that's imported. It's the S tubes.
And do you feel like most of the local companies that you mentioned have capacity?
Yeah,
They do. So it's, yeah,
it
so
is because
yeah.
Our background is actually from agriculture manufacturing, and right now egg manufacturing is in the tank. So there's businesses that are chomping at the bit, they're looking for work just for scraps, just to keep doors open.
Right.
So the cost to have stuff outsourced right now in our area, which is all aid related, is readily available and only like a 2-week lead time. So,
oh, wow.
So that type of work, I mean, even for R&D parts, like for us, if we wanted laser cut tubes, for example, we could have them in 2 weeks. So, you know, so it's not, that part isn't a big deal.
So for you guys, it's working then.
Yeah.
We got the mystery man in the dark, the man in the dark.
Hey!
Is that Muddy Feet? I see a mustache.
Close.
Eric, what's going on?
Oh man, just been at a 7-on-7 football tournament all day, so we're headed home.
Were you playing, or that's the kids you're watching?
No, it was my son was playing today.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
Well, that's kind of why I asked. Why I didn't really want to assume, or I was trying to be polite about it.
I appreciate that.
How's business with the new pump?
Man, it's great. That's been a game changer for us. Just having the reliable equipment and then the increased output. It's been huge. Such a good thing. Yeah.
Show up on site now, and you look like an operation with that shiny new rig, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know, you can go into the job with a lot more confidence. And I've learned the machine pretty good. We've pumped some big rock mixes here recently, and once we got it primed out, it's been pumping like a dream. So I'm really pleased with that Reed B50G.
And how's the gas-powered engine treating?
Love it, man. I don't feel like I had to compromise or anything with going with that gas engine. It's been great. I don't feel like it's lacking in power or anything like that. The fuel consumption is extremely comparable to the diesel engine, really, surprisingly. Yep.
Oh, and you can run that on 87 octane. It doesn't have to be premium, right?
That's right. So
does that come in less expensive per gallon than diesel, or right around the same?
It is less expensive here in Texas. Yep. It's. I mean, I would say that it might consume just a little bit more, but when you weigh out the cost difference between diesel and gas, it hasn't hurt me, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just looking at
his future savings is going to be in the maintenance side of the diesel on the DEF and emissions.
Yeah.
In long term, it used to be where diesel outlasted everything on any stationary industrial motors, right? And now with the cost difference between to get a gas engine to the same, you know, comparable to the same size diesel to run the pump, your cost for the DEF and emissions are shoot that out of the park now.
Yeah.
Even just not having to worry about finding somebody who can diagnose and repair issues with the emission system. That's the problem we have with our pony-driven pump unit, is trying to get somebody who can fix it. Everybody just throws money at it, and the problem seemingly doesn't go away. Where, you know, that Ford Coyote engine. It's a mass-produced engine. Like it's tried, tested, true. It just makes sense, right?
Oh, I mean, to be able to go to O'Reilly's or Napa or anything and just go buy a part for it, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I think they're definitely onto something with that. Did you see just today? Schwing posted up on one of the line pump pages. They're doing an SP 500, so 74 horsepower, so non-def, but with the 7-inch material cylinder. They talked about it at World of Concrete. Now they're doing it. I think that's a pretty slick setup too for somebody that wants a little bit larger, longer stroke, but isn't necessarily trying to push it. Stiff mixes 500 feet and doesn't need the horsepower. I think a machine like that really falls into a nice little niche. I thought it was kind of cool anyhow. So
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the other manufacturers don't look at adding a gas-powered pump to the fleet. I've talked to one other one. I won't say it out loud, but he's been approached to build some pumps with the gas engine, and he's seriously looking at doing it. I just think it's a good cost savings for the end user, because you're saving 30,000 off the top by going with gas versus diesel.
yeah, I feel like, and this is my ignorant opinion, I feel like we were getting gouged on these small displacement diesel engines. I don't know. Maybe they actually legitimately do cost that much more to produce, but I just feel like it's gotten out of hand. I don't know. Matt would probably have better insight on that than me. I'm just speaking my feelings right now.
So we've looked at doing a trailer pump line, and we would go gas. We would stay away from the diesel. It's truly, like, if you're looking for that 120 horse cat diesel compared to, so like he's got the 7.3 Ford in his, we were looking at the GM LS series line. You're talking $30,000 difference between the two by the time you're said and done. And with the GM line, you can use a general OBD2 scanner to tell you any engine codes that are on it. So any repair part, any part store, water pump, coil pack, spark plugs, anything like that is readily available. The
LS is so compact too, right?
And they're everywhere. Anybody can work.
Would you go all aluminum with that to save weight, Matt, or does it not really that much of a? You would.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you save an extra 100 pounds or whatever it is.
We were looking at like the LS6, the E-Rod, right? So if you're familiar with like GM Performance products, right? That's what it would be. So it'd be a 6.2 liter. That's 430 horse. So at 2,200 RPMs, you're at 400 foot-pounds of torque, which is the same as the diesel at 1,800 RPMs.
So set up like that, you actually could put nitrous oxide on?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking a Whipple supercharger, full boost at 2,200 RPM. It's funny that video there, I knew there would be. There was a smattering of comments of people that thought it was real. That's so dumb. You're gonna blow your pump up. I just I mean, I don't know. I give up. So
yeah, for us, I mean, we're entertaining it. I mean, there's obviously a demand there because people have asked us about it. The World of Concrete, we're asked numerous times about trailer pumps as well, about doing trailer pump versions, and it all comes down to the power plant. And it comes to, I myself am a Ford guy, but GM has done it. They've been the same bell housing, same everything for 50 years. I mean, he said he won't give him a big block Chevy on it. It's like, you can, it's the same bell. You could do whatever you want to it.
Right.
I mean, with that platform, once the, motor mounts and everything are there, it may not last the 30 years of life of a diesel, but for the cost, you can replace it in, for nothing. I mean, comparably for what you'd spend in DEF in 10 years, you could replace the engine, I bet.
That's true. And I mean, potential downtime savings because they're readily available, right?
Right.
Stainer the first, how does the cost compare between gas going fully electric? I do know that a fully electric trailer pump like a TK50 puts is very close to, if not bang on, double the price of a diesel version. So more than double the price of a gas-powered trailer pump. It's extremely expensive. We're actually hoping to, and it looking like we're going to actually get one of those Ion Tron Putzmeister fully electric trailer pumps as a demo unit in the next few weeks. It might be coming to Canada, so we'll be able to give it a rip. I'm really curious to try it out. I actually think it's a pretty cool setup. Just at double the price, unless you've got a specialty job or customer that's willing to pay you a premium for it. Nobody's going to buy it, right? And I think that kind of looks like most things with electric right now. There's got to be an increased cost to the end user, otherwise, how do you justify it? So.
And that's tough because, like, on all these electric pumps that are electric, they're still electric over hydraulic. They're not actual electric servos. They're still fluid in it.
Right.
Which you're losing. There's a power loss through that. That's huge.
Right.
If they're going to do electric, if you look at, we look at the skid steer line. So you look at Bobcat's all electric skid steer, right? No fluids whatsoever. It's all electric servo for the cylinders and everything. There's no fluid. It's not a hydraulic cylinder. It's electric servo. And it has.
What does that do to the cost, Matt?
Their machines actually are only like, I want to say that they were only like 10% higher on a fully electric.
Really?
And their runtime for continuous use on their electric skid steer is like 6 or 7 hours of continuous use. Now,
no kidding.
It's still not much, but still, it's like if you're, they did everything electric. The problem is there's no attachments for it that can do that because all the attachments that are available require hydraulic fluid. That's
right.
What they're working on. But like as far as the trailer pumps, if you had 2 linear actuators to replace the cylinders, there's no need for anything else because it's all controlled by the computer then. And a linear actuator is actually stronger and has more response time. So you can truly get that speed up, slow down for that soft shift at each end.
So somebody asked, is this the Mud Demon guy? Yes, right there. That's the Mud Demon guy. That's John Jacob. Holy, pronounce that last name.
Jingleheimer Schmidt. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Caleb, are you German?
No.
Wow. I'm going to guess, don't take this the wrong way, that's not a real name. Maybe it is, though. If it is, that's a heck of a, wow, that's a lot of characters there. But yeah, this is the Mud Demon guy. He is here live in the flesh. Yeah, it was that was one thing at the show. There was a lot of electric stuff in Germany. The electric mixer trucks I was actually really impressed with. They travel like 150 kilometers on a charge, and I think the charge time was, oh, don't quote me. It's in my video, 2.5 hours, I think it was. So it seems like something that actually would have some real world application here. The hybrid pump was very cool. Once again, added costs, so you need a specialty job that'll pay for it. The fully electric boom pump, I don't see that working in North America. Just not enough range on the batteries. The trailer pump, I could see an application for that, but too expensive. So it's going to be really interesting with all this big eco-friendly, enviro-friendly push. Who is going to pay for it? Ultimately, I guess the end user ends up paying for it. But how is that going to trickle down? How's that going to break down? Right? It's just added costs. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's just a special use machine, I just don't see it being popular, for everybody.
I don't think they're for everybody, but I do know the uses for them. We've been contacted for doing our units with electric power packs just for that. Any food production buildings can't have anything gas or diesel running inside the buildings, right? Anything with, say, like turkey barns, anything, stuff like that, again, can't have anything with gas or diesels running inside. So that's just here locally that we see that. I can't imagine being in a state where the emissions and stuff like that are that they would allow it.
Right.
You know, there'll be a place where they're going to have to pay for it.
John Jacob Matt says the Mud Demon is too expensive.
Yeah.
I think it's a bargain for what it is, like considering where concrete pumps are priced at these days. For somebody who already owns a skid steer, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. And that's kind of like, right, Matt, that's sort of the intended application, or somebody who also has use for a skid steer, correct?
Yep.
Right? If you don't have a skid steer and all you want to use it for is pumping concrete, and that's all you're going to do, you're probably better off just getting a trailer pump. Am I fair to say that?
Yeah. So I just seen on one of the Schwing dealers' websites, the SP305, that's bare bones, no remote, is $79,500.
Oh, John Jacob says it's priced fine. Maybe I misinterpreted the way that was worded. Maybe he just meant in general by the time you get the hoses or just pumps in general.
Maybe he was talking about other pumps rather than the Mud Demon.
Maybe. Yeah, my apologies, John Jacob, if we got that wrong. That's just the way that I interpret it. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
when you compare the volume output to other name brand pumps, I mean, it obviously is comparable to the yardage of those machines like a TK30 or anything like that. Those smaller machines that are doing that. For 90% of residential guys, it's enough. They don't need anything more than that.
Right.
They just don't, because usually they can't get the service to begin with. Any of your patio guys that are doing driveways, patios, stem walls, remodels, interior basements, that's what it's targeted for.
Well, even in most of my videos, Matt, like working with our residential guys, and we do a little bit more kind of finicky fine work, so we're a little bit slower to put it down. But like the average that I'm pumping at is like 15 meters an hour is the pumping speed, and that's when the pump is on. So then when I shut the pump off, realistically, we're an hour to pump off an 8 to 10 cubic meter load. That's kind of the speed that we pour at. Yeah. And I'm sure that there's markets that are different. Like I'm sure the guys out east Ontario that run the 4-inch steel pipe and whatnot, they probably wind her up a little more than we do. But I think, yeah, like you said, it fits a good percentage of the market. I don't think we actually need any more volume than that, to be honest. So,
and it's funny, like the comment that he has on there that the Mako C30, right? If you've ever seen a Mako pump run, they're like dancing on the ground, man. I mean, my gosh, you'd jam your thumb if you tried touching it. We've been alongside them. I mean, nothing against them. They're affordable for sure, but they're different.
That's what I noticed with the Mud Demon Sing It Pump in person when I was visiting Jeff there in Texas last fall. It is a very smooth machine, especially for like a smaller, shorter stroke machine. It's just smooth, solid, simple. Like it's like Matt, I think you've called it before, a lifetime piece of equipment. Like that's the way that it's built.
Yeah.
It's just it is a quality piece, and I'm not just saying that because Matt and I are what I consider to be friends. but no, seeing it in person, I was extremely impressed with it. So I think for the right application, it's a fantastic piece of equipment.
So he says on there, will his Lull 844 hydraulics keep up with it at 15 to 18 gallons a minute? So if he's running that 15 to 18 gallons a minute, you'll do 15 to 18 yards an hour. It's a 1-to-1. Three weeks ago, I was just in California doing in-service on a machine, and he thought his skid steer was high flow, and it wasn't. He had an older Bobcat, but he had a Cat 304 excavator sitting there, a mini excavator. and we used his excavator to power it, and it had 26 gallons a minute auxiliary hydraulic power. That was awesome. That was cool.
And what is the peak performance? You need 26 gallons per minute on the Mud Demon, or a little
30
bit more?
gallons a minute will get you 30 yards an hour. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Scott, what's your opinion on the VSP now that you've had it a while? Your timing is impeccable for this question, John. The pump unit is amazing. The truck is killing me, and not with major stuff. We had so when we got it, the heater never really worked. It was kind of like lukewarm air. So it turns out the heater core is plugged. Well, no local shops want to touch it because the whole dash has to come out of the truck, right? They're like, no, got to send it to the dealer. The dealer's the only place that would touch it. So we take it to the dealer, and the heater core is $180. It's 42 hours of labor at dealer rate of $220 an hour. Comes out of there with a total invoice of over $6,000. The heat works great. Now the air conditioning doesn't work. So it goes back to the dealer 2 more times to try and get the air conditioning fixed. They can't figure it out. So I just give up on the dealer, get the shop down the street to do the air conditioning for like $600. Air conditioning's fixed. Great. At the same time, the transmission cooler is now leaking. I assume from when the dealer had everything apart on it and put it back together. So now I need a transmission cooler and a line. So that's going to be another $800. So the truck is killing me with small stuff, and I'm hoping that it's done. Like, I've caught up on all these small things and it's done. I had this conversation last week with a buddy of mine. The long and the short of it is, every time we don't buy brand new, I regret not buying brand new with a warranty, because it's just the invoices, man. They just add up to $1,000 here, $2,000 there. The downtime, the pain in the ass. Hopefully this is the end of it, and it's going to be solid. No more little annoying things with it. But if you ask me right now for the price difference, I wish we just bought a brand new truck. The pump unit has been flawless. The truck, it's got some things. So hopefully that answers your question.
What year model is that truck, Scott?
2019 Dodge 5500. It's got 120,000 kilometers on it, 7,000 engine hours. It's just small stuff. Like, it's not stuff like I could have run it without the heater core running full blast. It just sucks in the wintertime trying to defrost the windows, right? I could have run it without the air conditioning working, but it pissed me off that it did work before I took it in and then it didn't. I could keep running it with the transmission cooler leak, probably. It's just little things, and hopefully it's just because it's that like 7 years old age range where a lot of the little stuff is due, and now it's good. We had to replace the water pump on it too. That was leaking. So I hope it stops. If it doesn't stop, there might be a VSP 70 going in on trade-in to puts for a brand new unit.
Well, I'm surprised that you've had those problems with it. My truck, I've got a 6.7 Cummins. It's a 14 model, and I've got 270,000 miles on it, and I haven't had any of those problems. So I don't know if that's just a difference in climate of where that truck lives versus where my truck lives, or it might just be, manufacturing with the parts have gotten a little less desirable, perhaps in that year span. But
I think it's age, Eric. I think everything now is like 7 years. Like our Peterbilt boom pump chassis, 7 years. All the little stuff starts coming up around that 7 year mark, and there's a huge wave of it. And hopefully, I'm hoping that we've tended to it all, and then it doesn't reappear for another 7 years. It just kind of comes and goes in waves.
Right.
So maybe it's just a bad time right now, just bad timing, and this will all clear up, and we run the thing all summer, and there's no issues. But right now, I'm a little bit frustrated, for sure.
Oh, I would be too. For sure.
As John says, it's literally exactly like ours. It's just small, annoying stuff. Yeah, John, that's exactly it. It's just small, annoying stuff, and I could probably let it go to a certain extent, but I just can't roll like that, right? Well, I don't like the responses I'm getting now. Chris Calhoun says both my 3500s, small little things. Killed me with little things. Yeah, I kind of wish the other option was they're mounting them now on the Isuzu NRR, the same truck that Ian's pump is mounted on, and that thing has been flawless. It's so simple. It's just a simple, basic truck. It doesn't drive nearly as nice as the Dodge. It's way underpowered, but man, is it reliable. And I'm kind of thinking now, I'm like, shoot, that might have been the better route to go. But I don't know. Like I said, let's follow up on this one in another 90 days and see where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure.
How's your unit running, Caleb? I
Top notch.
haven't seen you. I've seen you have a lot of shorts lately, but I haven't seen a long form from
Yeah,
or
the
too many
long
long
form.
forms in a while.
With everything going on, it's a lot. It takes a lot of time to make a video, and when I get a little bit of free time, I don't use that free time to go work on a video. I use that to be a dad or a husband, But
Yeah.
no, I guess when you say the 7-year mark, that was about 3 years ago when we started having emission problems with my truck. Just got it out of there. Never had an issue with my truck since.
Don't say that publicly.
I mean,
he had it fixed correctly and got the problems out of there,
yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah, no, he's still fully emissions compliant. He just got the problems out of there.
No, dude,
Yeah.
come check my DEF tank. There's a little bit of DEF in there for you to check
Yeah.
out. It's in there and running. DEF level is
But man,
okay.
the added cost to running a business being emissions compliant, like it's unbearable. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have the same frustration.
Nope, that's the whole reason I will never ever get rid of the pump I got. I will just keep rebuilding it because there's 0 emissions on it.
Oh yeah, because yours is just prior. Yours is the 2016 model, right?
2015.
So ours is the 2017. It was literally like one of the first 2 to have emissions on it, and we didn't want it that way. It's just we missed the last of the tier 3 diesels, and it was really good for the first up until about a year ago, and then same thing, the 7-year mark, and hold on tight, right?
I do know one pump dealer that says they will build the pump however you ask them to build the pump.
Yep.
So if you want that pump the way you want that pump, you will get that pump exactly that way.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool just to get a 74 horsepower non-DEF engine.
Oh,
right.
He can. If
as
you
an
can
option.
get how I understood it is if you wanted a bigger one and you wanted it the way that you wanted it, he could send it to you that way.
Chris is throwing out names. I thought I figured I might know who it is, but yeah. No, it's difficult. I don't know. Like I would love to calculate what emissions actually cost us in a year between DEF fluid, downtime, parts, everything else. We run 10 machines in our fleet, and 7 of them are emission. They're of a year that's has emission systems, and I bet it costs us in a year $150,000.
Jeez,
is what I would say.
Smokes.
No.
Oh yeah, like our 38
man.
meter on the Peterbilt chassis last year alone, we put like 30 grand into it, and it still didn't fix the problem. Every time it would go into the dealer, 5 to 7 grand in parts, clear the codes, and a week later it comes back. And they do not know how to fix this stuff. They just don't. They're selling it, but they don't know how to fix it. So, right. So who ends up?
Sounds pretty good with the supercharger on it.
It does. So when you guys are talking about these gas-powered engines, it certainly does. Yes, I could not agree more.
A gas-powered engine in colder environments too would be.
Oh yeah,
that would be so much nicer.
Is anybody out there running a 74 horsepower Tier 4 engine? So 74 horsepower and lower does not have DEF. Do they still have any sort of emissions issues, or is it all related to DEF? Because 75 horsepower and up, you need the DEF system, right? I'm curious to know how much more reliable those smaller diesels are. Anybody who's got one in the comments, chime in. I would definitely like to hear some feedback.
There's been some still. I've been in a couple of service meetings at Schwing when I was there with some of the dealers and customers, and there was still some issues with the smaller engines.
There was still.
Yeah, most of it was all emissions related, but there's still a few for the smaller engines.
Yeah, so you can't get away from it on the diesel side of things anyhow. Oh man.
But no, going back to my pump, the only little problem I have right now is an oil leak. So I had an oil leak from the oil pan, so I took it off and did a re-gasket on there, and it still wants to leak. There's a little like a door or something kind of by the flywheel, and I replaced that O-ring in there. It still kind of leaks out of there a little bit, and now I think I don't know, I think it's coming from the oil pan still, but it's leaking around the bottom, just a little bit of oil. So
It's
and
not
then
it's not rear main seal, is it, coming out from that rear housing and then
Yeah.
running along the
Rear
line
main
of the
seal.
you know
it
what?
could be rear main.
Yeah.
It might be. Because it wasn't leaking, and then I changed, and then the oil pan was leaking. I knew that was the oil pan. Changed the oil, did the oil pan, put it back on, started running it, and then I feel like it started to leak more.
That's a Deutz in yours, right, Caleb?
Yes.
It is a Deutz, yeah.
Yeah.
I love those engines.
31 horsepower Deutz.
Does your pump have a really noisy engine fan that's not on a clutch and it's locked the whole time?
To be honest, dude, that thing, when you turn that RPMs up on that machine, you can't even stand around it. That thing is just screaming at you the whole time. It's just
So it's
loud.
the same as ours. Yeah, ours with the Cummins. I was wondering if it has a clutched fan that's just seized, or if it's just a fixed fan. It's like a giant coffee grinder. It's so freaking loud, and for that reason, that is reason enough for me to choose a VSP over the trailer. Just the reduction in noise. Oh man, it's something else.
Going from that Perkins 6354 engine on my old pump to this gas powered unit, it's like standing next to a lawnmower versus a dadgum F-14 fighter jet. It's unreal, the difference in decibels.
It makes such a difference, doesn't it, Eric? I mean, it sounds like
Oh.
a picky little whiny thing, but like when I'm around the VSP 70, or even our new boom pump with the ILS pump kit, the new 56 meter, just that extra peace and quiet, it goes a long way, especially at my age, my tender age of 45 years old.
Well,
especially when you're trying to shoot
always
YouTube
been
videos.
Around, that's right, and always I've grown up around equipment and being in the fire service and everything. Those fire engines are loud, and so I'm pretty particular about making sure I wear an ear pro. That I've gotten older and realized that I can't hear as good out of my left ear as I used to. But with the new pump, it's night and day. I don't have to worry about it as much at all.
Is that a trainee that you have? I've seen you got a second man in a couple of your most recent videos. Eric, do you have a guy that you're training?
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine, and his name's JD. And through the years, we've grown up together, and through the years, every time I've got something new that I'm doing. When I started my landscaping company, he worked for me, and now he's all into concrete pumping with me, and he is the kind of guy that is good with equipment and has got a good head on his shoulders and a lot of common sense. And so when I asked him, would you be interested in learning how to do this, he was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, and he's absolutely loving it. So I'm really fortunate to have him, because he's going to make it to where whenever I'm on duty and we've got a job, I won't have to pay somebody to come work for me at the firehouse. He can go take care of it, and if he's off work as well, I won't have to worry about it. He can handle it.
That works out very well. I mean, shoot, maybe you end up with a second pump. Who knows, right?
Well, I've still got old faithful sitting out here as well. So you never know. I don't know. I might end up. Oh yeah.
I didn't know you still had it.
I told my wife. I said I kind of want to keep it, and then one day when we're a big company, we'll put it on the showroom floor in the entryway and say that's where we got started from. We'll have to put We'll have to put
You're going.
kitty litter underneath it.
You're going down the concrete pumpers rabbit hole. You don't want to be a big company. Don't do
I
it.
know.
Come back.
More when I say a big company, I mean more like having a really nice big shop,
Yeah.
and with a couple of trailer pumps in it. I'm sold on the trailer pumps. I'm not so sure that I'll ever end up going the boom route.
Yeah, 3 or 4 trailer pumps
Hey,
would be
boy.
a very nice business. I think that's in my
Yeah,
opinion. I love trailer pumping or line pumping, I
yeah,
should say.
yeah. I do too. I do too. But yeah,
All right,
there she is.
I'm gonna. That thing is. Anyway, okay. Since I got all you guys on here, and since you have all the experts, I'm gonna show you the leak, and then you guys can tell me what it is, and then maybe I can fix
All
it
right.
properly.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Let
right.
Matt look at it.
So you can see the seal all the way the oil pan there, right here. It's leaking. The other side, not one speck of oil. But then you come up here, and this is. Gotta put this light in my mouth. Right there. You can see it. I can't see the screen. Right here, it is leaking around this. I replaced that O-ring, so I don't know why it's leaking. But now, here's the good part. You gotta see the screen. See if you guys can see it. Do you see it?
Yeah.
There's the like right here.
Oh, now it's dark.
You went black, Kit.
Did it? Ah, darn it! I wish I could turn the screen around. I don't know how to flip my camera around so that I can actually look while I'm doing this. Right there. Yay, nay? You see it?
Caleb, I can't see shit. I see
No?
a couple filters.
How
I
about
can't.
that?
I don't know.
Okay.
How about that?
That's
I see a
good.
fan shroud.
Right-
Oh, there we go.
right in
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Right in here. It is just leaking like a sieve, but I don't know if it's coming from the oil pan up here and then just dripping its way down, making this all look oily.
And it's the rear main seal leaking. When you pulled the oil pan, was the oil pan flat in the back, or what? Or does it have an actual oil seal that pushes against it for the oil pan?
No. So the oil seal is like, I used gasket maker for a seal because there's no seal. I called the Deutsch person here, and they're like, no, it's just, you got to make your own seal with gasket maker.
For the gasket, yeah. That looks to be, since you replaced the oil pan, I'm guessing it's a rear main seal, and it still looks like it's oil pan leaking.
Yeah, which really makes me mad because I just redid that.
Yeah.
That could just be inexperience as well, I've never done that. So
Was it just a weep, Caleb, or is it leaving a puddle?
I get about probably $50 size drip on a job if I'm there for 3 hours, 2-3 hours. So it's not like terrible. But
it's just character then. It's just character.
If I go into if I go into a nice brand new driveway or something, I make sure to put a glove or something right where it's gonna drip.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's a door. Yeah.
If it's rear main seal, that's going to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt to fix, unfortunately.
Well, it's a almost 10-year-old machine. Well, this year will be a 10-year-old machine. So
take a road trip up here, Caleb. We'll tear into it for you.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
That's a good offer.
That's a great offer, because I just had to do the brakes on my truck, and I'll tell you what, I wish I wouldn't have had to do the brakes on my truck. I wish I just would have brought it somewhere. I was like, how much? I'm like, it's gonna cost me, I don't know. The front brakes on my truck were like almost $1,200. So I'm like, the rear brakes on this thing are gonna be like more than that. And so I'm like, so I can go buy the tools and the brakes and it all for less than what it would cost someone else to do it. Now I got new tools and I can do it. I wish I didn't have new tools right now. I wish I
Was
just
that for all
brought
four, Caleb, or just the front brakes?
just the fronts. Were what,
Yeah.
1,200 bucks.
Am I the only one that just throws in a set of pads and scuffs the rotors with some 40 grit?
Oh no.
I mean, my pedal pulsates a little bit here and there, but I'll go like the life of a vehicle without ever replacing the rotors. Not saying that that's the right way to do it, but
Well, see, and this is also lack of experience. That's what I was taught. Replace the pads, replace the rotors, and I'm like, well, it's not my money anyway, so I'll just buy rotors and pads. Well, on
yeah,
a dual rear wheel, brakes are not as easy as a single rear wheel. So, yeah, I could not the 10 bolts that hold the rotor onto the hub, because the bearing and everything is attached to the rotor on a dually.
Yeah.
Those 10 bolts, I got one loose. I threw everything but the kitchen sink at it to try to break those bolts loose, and they would not. I tried heat. I mean, I could only heat it up so much because it's attached to the wheel bearing, and I don't want to fry whatever in the wheel bearing and ruin that too. So yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah,
so then you ended up
especially
taking it to a place. Then Caleb, is that what
No,
the final outcome?
I ended up just pad slapping it. I'm gonna go return the rotors.
Oh yeah, there you go. Sweet, I like that.
Dude, the rotor, and then when I pulled it off, the rotors weren't even that bad, and I was like, I wish I would have watched the video before I actually go and do things. Because when I'm doing stuff, you pull up a YouTube video and you sit there and follow along with it. Well, I just watch the video first and learn, and then you can be like, oh, well, my rotors don't look like that, guys. I don't need new rotors, so could have saved myself, a couple $100 there.
We never watch this stuff before, Caleb. It's always on the fly, and you always get the 2-minute video that has like 3 ads in it that can't be skipped.
Yep.
you just need to get to the good stuff, right?
Yep.
Oh man, so the pump is running well, just other than a little bit of an oil leak. She's running strong.
And I replaced the, that one video I said where it was having problems where it wouldn't shift back.
yeah.
Yes.
Solenoid. Figured it was a solenoid. Well, those solenoids are so rusted on the top of that thing, like I was going to damage the hydraulic control valve trying to take that solenoid off. So I just bought a whole new control valve, slapped it on there. Haven't had an issue with it since.
Oh, you mean just a little coil, the little plug with a single screw?
So no, the whole control
he actually
valve,
replaced
the
the
whole block.
solenoid, Scott.
So where your the buttons to push it, the manual control valve, where you push it to do it yourself.
Oh yeah.
That whole block, the whole block.
Oh, okay.
That whole block. Which, to be honest, if you're gonna, your solenoids are gonna cost you $100, $150 a piece, anyways. Like, buy a new a control valve, because it comes with new solenoids on it. So, and my solenoid, that control valve cost me $470, where I would have been paying $250 just for solenoids. And then I couldn't even get the solenoids off; they're so rusted on there.
You know what's annoying about these pumps is by the time we've done everything once or twice and we know everything and know where to get the parts and it becomes a routine, then we stupidly go buy a new one and complain that it's different and and so complicated, when we should really just keep the old one. Like once you've been through everything once on it, it's so much easier, right?
Oh yeah.
But we get enamored by the shiny new stuff, and such is life, I guess.
Yep.
So what are you gonna do, right? Oh man. Well, it's
if
too
you
bad
make it
that
till next winter, you can come up here, Caleb.
What's that? Say that again.
I said if you can make it till next winter, then you bring it up here next winter, and we'll tear into it with you.
It's a good idea, because from November to mid-February, I didn't get a single job, so I have all the time in the world during the winter.
Right.
Oh, Lionel from the Sunshine Coast just logged in. He's Lionel, Sunshine Coast Pumper. Is that a new YouTube account? I don't know that. Did you guys saw the video I had up about a month ago there where we were doing the boom pump job and on the waterfront there, and I was out with Lionel for the day, and then we'd done a video probably 6 months earlier together as well. I don't think Lionel had a YouTube account, but I think he may have started one just so he can comment, which is very, very exciting. Lionel was in a couple of short videos, and man, we got blasted. We did one video where we sucked back water sponge, and we got blasted because apparently all you ever need to do is suck back one sponge, except for when I post a video where I suck back one sponge, and I'm an idiot because you need to suck back two sponges, but I'm also an idiot because I'm not water washing. And then we posted a video, we had a plug, we caught a chunk in the 3-inch hose, and we're idiots because we don't run 5-inch hose. And the chunk apparently was out of the boom pipe because the last time the pump was out, the guy he sucked the sponge back too fast, which coincidentally was the video I posted where we sucked back the two sponges. So it's just like the YouTube Shorts is just such a can't win. And it's just it's so funny, the comments. No matter what you post, you are doing it wrong. Yeah. And Lionel actually handled it very well. I thought he was going to message me in tears, just based on the comments that we have. But I think he's cut out for YouTube, and I think he needs to start making his own long form videos. He's the natural.
On your video today?
Yeah, that's the company that Lionel works with. The old Schwing 500.
That's cool.
I love that thing.
I love seeing those things.
Oh yeah, with the single button remote, like I don't know if it was like a garage door opener or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then the guillotine for pinching the hose off.
Yeah.
No, I get more excited about that stuff than I do a shiny brand new pump because it's got personality and character.
Yeah.
Lionel says the comments are gold. Yes, they are. Yes. Next time I'm up there, Lionel, we'll have to do a water wash. If you want to experience get the real comment experience, you need to do a water wash and post it.
Or just send a rubber chicken through it.
Yeah, Eric, I wasn't going to post that up. It just didn't work. It didn't work that well. I fought that for 10 minutes. So I was going to scrap it. And then when I was at the Bama show last week, so many people were like, hey, it's the cheeseburger guy. So I'm like, well, I don't have a cheeseburger video, but I got something, so I might as well fire it up while I'm here. That being said, on that topic, this Wednesday I have one coming up that I don't think that the concrete pumping world is ever going to be the same. We'll just leave it at that. We're going big time. We're going big time on the hose clean out this Wednesday. You don't want to miss it. It's my finest work yet. even my wife laughed at it. So, which means it's that stupid or it's that clever. I don't know. It's a toss up.
All right, very good.
So yeah, water prime, water wash. You got it, Lionel. Next time I'm up there, we're doing it, man. So anybody got? I know Jeff couldn't make it unfortunately because he's dodging tornadoes. So we'll give him a pass on that. Anybody got any final thoughts, words, any topics we didn't touch on? Anything anybody wants to talk about or discuss? Shoot now or forever hold your peace. Oh, what do you got? What do you got, Matt? What do you got?
So our line cradles are now available through Conforms. So you can order them through Conforms or off the Amazon link as well.
Oh, they're on the Amazon link.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about ordering parts for pumps through Amazon. It's because you get it no shipping, right? Quite often.
If you're Prime, you get it no freight. So
how amazing is that? If you don't live near a parts distributor and you need a couple clamps or whatever it may be, that's actually really handy
to do it that way because of the freight cost. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so Conform is stocking the line cradle now. They are available, and I remember we were talking. You'd upgraded the strap. It's a heavier strap now, right? The Velcro strap.
Yep, they're true Velcro straps now. Velcro brand straps. So, yeah,
much better.
And you can get one of those hose cradles through TSA. I've done it. That's how I got it home from Vegas. Yeah, and the guy was like, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, this holds your concrete hose." They're like, "Okay." Like, yeah, I'll just strap it to my backpack. It's all good, man. And then Selena had to hold it in her lap the whole way home.
Well, I think now the appropriate thing to do is name it after an experience like that.
Yeah. Oh, and she gets used and abused, man. So it's a great product. Highly recommended.
I will say I've used the other brand that had been out
Yep.
for a while, and it's also a good product. But having the strap is what makes all the
Yep.
difference. That one
100%.
little addition, night and day difference. So if you haven't
Yeah,
tried
because
that, yeah,
I'll wedge that in between going around corners and whatnot, and just
yeah,
having that strap, being able to wedge it in there and then strap it to the hose to where I don't have to go back and check it. It's like why don't they put straps on all of these things? It's
exactly
great.
what I was going to say, Eric. I would same thing going around corners. The other brand, I'd use my own straps on those, but the strap ends up rubbing on the ground, and the strap would wear through.
Hmm.
Break
There wasn't an
anyways,
actual slot for it, so no, highly recommended product, especially for line pumpers like me that like to run about 500 feet of all 2-inch rubber hose, and it's jumping 6 feet in every direction. Um,
Yeah.
the line cradles will save doorways and corners of homes, and yeah, you name it. So
Aaron
okay,
Fraunberger, he'd called me last week and about a different challenge for a similar thing. So you use the dragon eggs a lot, right?
correct. Yes.
Yeah, but they don't make them for smaller than 4-inch.
yeah, I would love one.
Well, we use them on 3.5-inch, Matt, but it's a 4-inch egg, but the 3.5-inch hose uses a 4-inch flange and coupling. But yeah,
Right.
smaller than 3.5-inch, you're kind of SOL.
But Darren was doing I believe it was a piling, so it had rebar cage.
Yep.
And he's using a trailer pump line to go down through that rebar cage. So we had put two line cradles together and just used a ratchet strap around the clamp. And then I sent him a picture of what to do for the short term. I don't think he is able to use it because they had a post in the middle, so it didn't work either way. But
I'm trying to picture how that would look. Yeah, I'm trying. Now I'm going to go down to the yard tomorrow and play around with this.
But we'll look at doing just doing an R&D style of almost a semi-spherical line cradle to where you could still put two of them together to simulate that same effect.
Yeah,
Matt, you don't ever stop with the innovation. Matt never stops with the
So if
innovation.
you put one this way and the hose is here, and then you put another one on this side, and the strap connects around the hose with one on each side, right? Right now, it's here, but if it was a sphere, half circle, to where it'd still be a line cradle any other time, but you could put two of them together to make it a uniform.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I got to try that in a video. Now you've got the wheels turning. Perfect. So those can be had through Amazon. What do you just what would I type in? What's the actual? So go to Conforms on Amazon. Okay.
Yeah.
And just type in like Mud Demon Line Cradle.
Yep. If you just go to the Conforms Amazon page, you can type in line cradle and it'll come up. Yep.
Okay. Perfect info. Okay. Well, should we leave it at that, gentlemen? What does everybody think? We're at 1 hour and 25 minutes basically here. So I think we did pretty good considering we didn't have Jeff here. And I guess we've got Jeff's premiere tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll probably see that most of you guys there.
He'll be trapping hogs.
Yeah, that's true. He's been hot on that lately. So, but yeah, I guess big thanks to everybody who made it out. I know it was a bit of a cluster last minute, just shifting the venue around and whatnot. So big thanks to those that were able to make it. And we'll try and dial it in a little better last time. Hopefully, we don't have any tornadoes. We're kind of at the mercy of the weather here. But yeah, we'll do one of these probably in another month or two, and look forward to seeing everybody and seeing some content from all of the above in the panel here.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thanks,
Sounds
guys.
good. Happy
Thanks
Easter.
again, guys. Yeah. Happy Easter, everybody, and it's good seeing all you guys. Good catching up. We'll talk soon.
All right,
Sounds
sounds
Take
good.
care,
good.
guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Keep on. Oh, hold on. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Now we can go. Bye. See ya. Talk to you later, guys.
Bye.